Here's the powerful phrase we want you to sort of repeat to yourself for a little while, for a few days. When I think I'm missing this person, what I'm really missing is my connection with who I am, and I'm blaming it on the fact that I'm not with that person. So what you're missing is your connection to you and to your creation of the relationship the way you want it to be. Now hear it. This is really powerful. When you feel that feeling that feels like emptiness, you're missing your connection. And when you're missing your connection, you can't have the stuff that's in your vortex because you're denying yourself of it. The emotion indicates that. So when you say to someone, I miss you, I really suffer when we're not together, what you're saying is, I use us not being together as my excuse to not align with who I am, and therefore to deprive myself of everything that I want, including the improved relationship with you. As long as you miss someone and do it fairly frequently, things can't get better. The best relationship is when you say, I don't miss you at all. I don't miss you at all. Of course, you want them to be in the vortex with you and understand what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't miss you because I've learned how to align with who I am, so I am secure and fulfilled regardless of what you are off or I am off doing. I'm not dependent upon your behavior or on our location to feel good. I've trained myself into alignment with who I am, and I consistently feel good.
So there are days where I am in the vortex and I feel great. And it really doesn't matter where the hell he is in the world. And then all of a sudden, it's like a GPS system. My mom says that he's got a GPS noose around me. Where I'm in the vortex and I'm feeling good, and all of a sudden the phone rings and I get on the phone, and like talking to him isn't feeling good anymore. And I get right out of the vortex. You know, they spits it right out. So the question's about the GPS piece, because I know that I have a GPS inside of me.
Well, you see, most people have trained themselves to believe that it is normal to miss someone when you're not with them. You train each other to feel that way. We hear you say it to your grandchildren, and I'm going to really miss you. It's going to be really hard not being together. And it's utterly disempowering. What you want to say is, when we're together, my being in the vortex is enhanced by our being together. But when we are not together, my being in the vortex is not detracted from. I am a focuser. I focus myself into alignment no matter what, and I love being with you when I'm in alignment. But I love being in alignment whether I'm with you or not.
So knowing that I love this person dearly in my heart, and knowing that I'm in my vortex.
There you are, misusing the word love again. That's what we were talking about earlier. When you're in the vortex, you love this person. When you're not in the vortex, you do not love this person. Because when you're not in the vortex, you're not connected with the energy of love, and you have none of it to give. That's strong, but you misuse the word love. Everyone does. Your mother shouts at you, don't you know I love you? She's nowhere near the vibration of love. Nowhere near it.
So the love is for myself in the vortex.
Love, well said. That's what the feeling of love is alignment. So let's just play with this for a little bit. Instead of saying I love you, let's replace the word love with alignment. I alignment you. Now we know it sounds weird, and don't say it to anybody outside this room. But think about I alignment you. I alignment you so much. Well, what does that mean? I'm in alignment, and now the whole of me is flowing through me and holding you as my object of attention. Ooh, that's love. That's alignment. But you would find it awkward to say I alignment you when you're not in alignment.
So how does trust come into this? So the reason I ask that is my girlfriend and I have a conversation at lunch.
Well, what does trust have to do with it? Is a better question. In the way that humans use the word trust, we would say, I trust myself to focus myself into the alignment with Source, who is always standing there for me. I can always count on Source holding the vibration right where I'm wanting to be. I can always trust that when I feel negative emotion, I'm not aligning you. I can always trust that when I'm not in the vortex, then I'm not in alignment. In other words, that's one wonderful thing about the laws of the universe and about your guidance system. When you feel negative emotion, you can trust you're out of the vortex. When you feel positive emotion, you can trust you're in the vortex. When you are in the vortex, you can trust that you are connected with the energy that creates worlds and flowing it towards your object of attention.
So it's only about trusting myself and not other people?
It's only about trusting yourself to be able to pay attention to your emotions and focus yourself into alignment with who you are. And everyone else is a happy or not co-creator. But the relationship that you're seeking is between you and you.
So do people have GPSs on us?
Nothing that you and they haven't trained you to have. In other words, that's what we meant earlier when we said your mother can train you in to a dependency. Your mother can a very funny thing Esther witnessed in the bathroom at a restaurant the other day. A little girl, not so little, but little. In other words, she was talking and walking. She was maybe 5 or 6 years old. Was in the stall in the same room where Esther was, and apparently she had locked herself in and couldn't figure out how to make the lock disengage. And Esther came out just in time to see her mother on her belly like a snake crawling in to rescue her. And first Esther thought, you deserve Mother of the Year award. And then Esther thought, wouldn't it have been easier for the little girl to be on her belly and crawl out? In other words, when you teach your children that you will rescue them, you disempower them, and then they often get locked in places.
So I get the story.
But what does it have to do with me?
Well, kinda.
Well, just the point of the story is that as children you are trained to believe in the power of others more than to believe in the power of yourself. And so then when you come together in a relationship, you transfer that power to them also. So then you develop these dependencies that I need you to be you complete me, which is bogus. No one completes you. You complete you. But when you give someone else the responsibility or the label that without you I am nothing, or without you I am not complete, or without you I am less than, then not only do you hold yourself in this impossible place where you are dependent upon their behavior, which means you need a lot of trust because you got to control them, and they feel sort of bound because they're not free, because now your happiness is sort of on their shoulders.
Which I don't want.
So
I want to be in my vortex. Yeah. I really want to be in my vortex. And I think that, okay, if I'm in my vortex, sometimes maybe I send out the GPS signal to get tracked. And then,
well, give us a little more what you mean by the GPS signal, because you're using it in a negative connotation. In other words, you're saying that that person turns on the signal and pulls you out of the vortex. What do you mean?
So
you're bipping along, you're living happily ever after, you're feeling really good.
I'm bipping along. I'm doing my meditation. I talked to you on Tuesday morning on a plane. You told me no more airtime. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm in my vortex. I'm feeling good. I'm going to be in this wonderful relationship, and here's how it feels. And on Wednesday, my friend, my partner, my boyfriend, whatever he is at the moment, calls me, and we have a great conversation. And at the end, and I think this is interesting. When I get in my vortex, I get a call. But then at the end, I get pieces that just don't feel good in the conversation. For example, he's talking to me all about, he's selling some property and getting a couple $1 million, and he's talking about money and things like that. And he's talking about what he's going to do with that money and how he's going to be, and what that looks like with him on a boat fishing, da-da-da-da. And I'm not in that story. And that didn't feel good. So So I was over here. I was great. I was on planes. You were telling me no more
But
airtime.
you see, so hear the contradiction in this. So we just had a lot of wonderful words that we exchanged, mostly us offering them at you. And we're talking about
I'm
how...
trying to take it in.
You're doing very well.
I'm trying.
You're doing very well. But you have a habit of vibration that we're just coaxing you away from.
I want to stay over here.
So you're on the airplane and you are, by your words, tuned in, feeling good, in alignment with who you are. And when that is the case, when you're in alignment with who you are, you're receiving all of your resources. You feel completely buoyed. You feel utterly stable and secure.
Yes.
Because you know that you trust that the universe is yielding, and you trust your ability to focus yourself into alignment with what you want.
Yes.
So when something that someone says jerks you out of the vortex, what that means is you were not yet getting your trust or alignment from the vortex. You're still dependent upon something that someone else does for it. In other words, if he'd told a better story, if he'd said, I'm selling some property and I'll have millions of dollars and we'll buy a boat and we'll be together often, and
that would have been great.
But what we're getting at is now your alignment is dependent upon what someone else does, which is the opposite of what we are encouraging here. You see, you're not unlike a lot of people who visit with us, especially initially, where we say, you are the creator of your own experience. And you say, good, I want to create a wonderful relationship with this person. And then we say, you are the creator of your own experience, which means exposure to life causes you to ask for things. And you say, good, I want a really good relationship with this person. And we say, you're the creator of your own experience. Wait, you are the creator of your own experience, because you'll just talk.
No, but that's the point. That's the point. I'm willing to give that person up. I want this so much. I don't need that. And that's...
But you can't get there from there. In other words, you can't
it's too
get
big
there.
Of a jump.
You're not even in the ballpark. You can't get there from there. And here's what we mean by that. Just follow this scenario through just a little bit, and you'll really understand what we're getting at. Because we said it a few times today, but it's harder to hear in the abstract and easier to hear as we apply it to the specifics of what you're living. So here's the law-based law that we're wanting you to understand. Here's the essence. Here's the theory. Here's the guts of what we want you to understand, and then we'll apply it to the specifics. So, as we said earlier today, you want to get in the vortex and then have a conversation. You want to get in the vortex and then take a cruise. You want to get in the vortex and then drive your car. Where a lot of people say, give me what I want and then I'll go in the vortex. And that's sort of what you're doing. You're saying, if he tells the right story, then I'll get what I want and then I'll go into the vortex. Or you're saying, if I can believe that I'm going to get what I want, then I'll use that as my reason to go into the vortex. And as we said to our friend who is seeking physical balance, we want you to set your anomaly or your illness or your broken relationship. We're making that a stronger word than it needs to be. Your broken body or your broken relationship. You want you to set that aside and just get in the vortex. We want you to not get in the vortex to fix things. We don't want you to get in the vortex so that you can have this relationship. And yet that's the reason that a lot of people come and want to learn what we're teaching, because there are things they want and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want. And that's what we meant playfully when we say, I'm willing, from your physical perspective you speak, I'm willing to pay the incredible price of getting happy and getting in the vortex if it'll give me what I want. And we just want you to realize that everything that you want is to be happy. The reason you want that relationship is because you want to feel good. And when you show yourself that you can feel good with or without it, then you can have it. But until you've shown yourself that you can feel good with it or without it, you can't get it, because you don't let yourself in the vortex except in those moments when he's behaving in a way that makes you believe. Can you hear that? So you're powerless to what he's saying. That's why your mother says he's got the hook on you. What he says drags you out, or what he says drags you in. And you want to be able to go in and stay in regardless of what he's doing.